what we have here is a design that's more discreet and resists not only fingerprints, but straight up reduces bacteria. What does a premium laptop look like in 2021? Think about that question for a moment. At the time of this recording, we're all involved in a global situation that's been happening from 2020 onwards. The demand for computing devices rocketed, with more and more people working from home. So naturally, when people look at an upgrade, they will look at things like power to cost ratio, for instance. But we aren't just talking about performance here. A lot of people will also look at the design, because design matters. A laptop is your personal device, and if you're having to upgrade because your demands have increased, it's fair to say you may look at a device that looks the part, maybe even fits your personality. At the same time, you might be cautious of getting something that looks so premium that you're afraid to do something as basic as scratch it or just damage it in any way. So what about having a device that looks premium, has the performance you need, yet also has an aesthetic to it that is not only pleasing to the eye, but has design elements which fit for when you're working at home and at some point, depending on where you are in the world right now, traveling around again? What does a premium laptop look like in 2021? Honestly, there are a lot of answers to that question, so I'm not going to say it's this, but it's a pretty good nomination. This is the Acer Swift 5 with Intel Evo. Before we get going, if you are new to the channel, this is what we call an overview of the device, not a review. That means we'll be covering everything we think you need to know about this device without going into too much personal preference. It's kind of like expanded impressions, so if you like what you see, click that subscribe button. We'll be having a look at the Swift 3X in the future, so make sure you've got the bell on for that one. The Acer Swift 5 is part of Acer's leading range of consumer Windows 10 thin and light devices, with the Swift 5 sitting in that premium end of the spectrum. Now, I mentioned at the top of this video the idea of having a design that's both pleasing yet has various design elements that fit for whether you're at home or out and about. You might be wondering what I meant by that, so let's get into it. The first thing you're going to notice about the Swift 5 is likely its interesting color. So this is mist green. It does feel very grown up. You can also get this in a Safari gold color, but the bit I really want to focus on is the chassis itself. Now, this is made from high-grade magnesium lithium and magnesium aluminium, which allows it to be 14.95 millimeters thin and around 1 kilogram in weight. It is seriously light. You have to be careful not to just chuck it around. It feels that easy to carry around. But the really interesting bit is that this chassis is coated in a silver ion antimicrobial agent. So that is across the keyboard, the hinge, the labels, everything. This agent has been tested to show a microbial reduction rate against a broad range of bacteria. I'll have the numbers and testing protocols on screen now if you're interested in that stuff. But what does that actually mean? Well, really, there are two things that make this great. Firstly, it's 2021. We live in a heightened state of hand washing. So of course, having a Windows 10 device that considers the number of different bacteria that may land on it is pretty cool. The other thing though, and I don't know whether this is a microbial solution or if it's just the material they've used, but fingerprints. Not really a thing. I mean, I have pretty oily skin, so if anyone's going to get fingerprints on this, it's me, and they just don't really show. Even when it did show smears, they are minimal and they're easy to wipe off. So already, if you want a device that isn't a fingerprint magnet, we're ticking some boxes right now. Combined with the material they've used to keep it sturdy and light, you can already see why this would be good for not just a home, but also taking it around. It's a big part of what makes this device a good option for people. But we've got a lot more to cover here, so let's crack on. Ports-wise, on one side we have the DC in for charging, a full-size HDMI, USB-A 3.2 and USB-C, which supports Thunderbolt 4 and can be used for charging as well. On the other side we have another USB-A 3.2 and the headphone jack. Good selection of ports there, plus you've got access to Bluetooth 5.1 and Intel Wi-Fi 6. The speakers are located on the rear of the device, along with the air vents and some lovely rubber feet. You also have two little extra feet on the angular hinge, which are used for when you open up the device. So let's cut to that shot of, that beautiful screen opening up. Hit it. The Acer Swift 5 features a 14-inch Full HD IPS display with a touchscreen. The whole thing is covered in an anti-microbial Corning Gorilla Glass, so you've got a decent amount of protection there against, your stray scratching and, well, bacteria. We have nice slim bezels with a 90% screen to body ratio, screen brightness of 340 nits, and 100% sRGB color gamut. Let's translate that for you. The 340 nits of brightness combined with that 100% sRGB color gamut means you get a nice vibrant display. Colors pop like the default Acer desktop background here. Plus with the thin bezels, you've just got more of the good stuff filling your screen. Now, if you're in bright sunlight, that brightness could afford to be a touch higher if I'm being honest, but the anti-glare tech that Acer implements into their screen means you can still get work done. I just wouldn't watch a really low light film in those conditions, though you could say that about literally any device that has sunlight on its screen. That's just the sun. The keyboard has a nice wide spacing, giving it good key travel, making it less likely you'll make mistakes. The only ones I made were because we've got a test device which has the US layout here, and I'm used to a UK layout. Go figure. Couple function key callouts. We have F6, which completely blacks out the screen, useful for if you feel like someone is snooping on your important stuff. There is also a dedicated sleep button in F1. The trackpad is on the smaller side of things, but still great for gestures. Plus, remember you have that touchscreen as well, which is brilliant for casually scrolling websites, documents, whatever. We also have a fingerprint sensor on the right side of the keyboard, which supports Windows Hello fingerprint recognition for seamless entry into your PC. Your speakers, they sound like this.
Editor uses the same AI-powered features available on Microsoft Word that helps you create easy-to-read documents.
Finally, your webcam looks like this, 720p, and gives you exactly what you need for video calls, but that's pretty much all you can show you of that stuff, so let's get specky. Get it? Because specky. Do the thing. Let's get into specs. We're just gonna look at our model here, which has an 11th gen Intel i7 processor, along with Intel Iris Xe graphics, 16 GB of RAM, and 512 GB of SSD storage. All of that, along with everything else we've already mentioned, makes this device Intel Evo certified. We've covered it before, but if you're out of the loop, Intel Evo is a great benchmark for what makes a premium Windows 10 device. This does mean that you're able to get quite a lot done on this little green thing. If you're into photo editing, for instance, Intel's latest generation of i7 processors are very capable of handling programs like Photoshop. And for your general productivity stuff, things like Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, however many Edge browsers you want to open at once, absolute breeze. It's not exclusive to this device, obviously, but anything running Intel's 11th gen i7s these days, it's gonna serve you well. Whilst we mentioned it, quick plug for Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365 is a modern life subscription which gets you all of the premium Office apps, which are always up to date. Plus you get access to premium benefits, including, at the time of filming, 3 months access to Adobe apps like Photoshop. Ah, see what we did there. Check it out if it piques your interest. Battery-wise, we have a 56 watt-hour battery, which is rocking a claim here of up to 17 hours. Whew, that's a big claim. It's not something I've been able to test, but I did note down at one point that Windows 10 was telling me I had 14 hours of battery left from a 93% charge. But in any case, it's like everything battery related. How you use your device will affect how long it lasts. Expect it to go up to those big numbers for things like video streaming, then expect that to come down if you're doing anything heavy duty. Another cool bit of info here is that if you are in a rush, the Swift 5 gets 4 hours of charge time from a 30-minute charge. Cool! Now, before we wrap things up, I want to try a new little thing. It's just to give you guys a quick tip. So here is a Windows quick tip. If you aren't used to touchscreens on a laptop like we have here, it will be handy for you to know about how to quickly access parts of Windows 10 with a swipe. Swipe in from the right to bring up your Action Center for things like notifications and quick settings, then swipe in from the left to bring up your task view and timeline. You can see everything you've currently got open in terms of your windows, add additional desktops, plus you can look up to 30 days of usage history in case you can't remember where you put that file that you were working on, which I do all the time because I am useless. I started this video by asking the question, what does a premium laptop look like in 2021? The point of that question isn't to lead you into some belief that this is it. I'm not saying that the Swift 5 is what everything should be. That's not the point. If anything, the point I'm getting at is that the premium laptop can look like a lot of different things to different people. What we get with the Acer Swift 5 is premium performance, a premium screen, and a premium package, as you'd expect, except that package offers a different experience to other premium devices out there. You can go for a Windows 10 device which goes all out on the beauty with sharp lines and a glossy finish. What we have here is a design that's more discreet and resists not only fingerprints, but straight up reduces bacteria. It's good to have options in the Windows 10 Premium Collection, is what I'm saying. The Acer Swift 5 is a good option. Don't leave! I know it's tempting to switch to your next video, but if you haven't already, we would love it if you subscribed. Drop us a like and a comment if you appreciated this video. Remember, we have a whole playlist of product overviews that you can check out right now if you so fancy. You do you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you around.